Today we get real. Starting with the 7 stages from ego to enlightenment, so you can know where you are and what's needed next. There's 7 stages, and most people are not even at the beginner stage. They blame others in the world. They're not looking within. They've not started on the path. They're not a seeker. When you start to struggle with the mind, you've become a seeker and you've stepped on the path. So if you're struggling with the mind, congratulations. You've taken the first step. And this can be the longest stage. You can stay in the beginner stage a lifetime, no matter how many things you try, because all of those things, self-help, spiritual stories, they're made of the mind. They're unreal. So you just can't seem to get traction. And when you start to get real, you can see actually what's going on. You can see how the mind works and you can recognize what you're doing wrong. When you start to get true and direct insight into this, then you've entered stage 2, reality lover. You've noticed the difference between the movie and the reality. And you can start to stop making yourself suffer. Becoming a reality lover, you start to use the real rather than the mind's mental stories. You stop trusting the mind. You begin to love reality, which has no need for trust. And you love it because it frees you, gives you peace. And you start to get real results, real traction. So you'll start to experience uncaused happiness for no reason, and spontaneous freedom. Old reactions simply fall away. And then that's when you know you're experiencing the autopilot stage, 3rd stage. You may fall in love with this joy or love and become a love lover. And since this joy is within, you stop needing anything from anybody outside of you. So you stop grasping and you stop avoiding also. You're fulfilled from within. And then you start to experience equanimity because of that, and unshakable contentedness in stage 5. No matter what happens in life, you're okay. That's equanimity. Your time, your attention, your interest, everything, your energy, they're all freed up from the endless effort of grasping and avoiding. And so you can become single-mindedly focused and interested in the truth, the reality of yourself and the universe and the existential questions. And that's when you hit truth lover stage. With all that energy released, if you encounter the true teachings on your true identity and you become a truth lover and you do the inquiry, you can realize your true and eternal self. It is the end of separation consciousness, of subject-object perception. It's the end of self and other. It's the realization that all so-called others and everything is yourself. So therefore, it's the end of all fear. There's nobody to fear. The end of struggle and pain. Fear of death even. You realize there's never been any separation and it's all been a bad dream. This 7 stages, this is what happened to me. And these stages are non-linear, meaning you don't have to go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Because since you are already your true self, you can fall into recognizing your true self. You can fall into the center from any stage. It's just much less likely and certainly more dangerous in a suffering state, in a state where you are largely unconscious, which I'll talk about in a minute. It does happen for some people, but more often than not, those people get depressed, go on drugs, get on meds that depress everything, and then they can't even think or function right, and or they die by suicide. So I don't recommend the idea at all that you have to suffer. Actually, what the sages knew is you have to be happy. It's easy to suffer. Everybody's doing it. It must be easy. Actually, I say as in jest, it's easy to be happy because it doesn't hurt to be happy. And it's your natural state. You can learn all this in your own direct experience. So these are glimpses of the truth. Insights that you may have along the way are glimpses, sneak previews, so to speak. Some people have them and they think they're awakened or enlightened. They've just gotten a little tiny sneak preview. If you're not prepared for an insight and you haven't developed your powers to stay out of mind, which we're going to learn today, then you're likely to misunderstand and destroy your insight and that precious opportunity with the mind. This is why many people believe they have had and lost their awakening. The experience they had up until then, it was nothing like it. But I tell you, I went around in this peace, this joy. It became ecstasy. And just when I thought it couldn't get better, it did. It got better and better and better. And I was living like that for 9 months. But what happened in the woods makes that pale in comparison. So don't think because you've had a momentary high that you are awakened or enlightened. There is so much more waiting for you. So true enlightenment or self-realization is irreversible, can't be lost. Make a note in your workbook or on a sticky somewhere at what stage you think you're at, okay? Beginner, reality lover, autopilot, love lover, equanimity, truth lover. Self-realized, I doubt you'd be here.